All right, folks, welcome to another episode of Till the Dirt. This is the Till the Dirt podcast, but this is where we do the Shahs Rewatch, where we rewatch old episodes of Shahs of Sunset. My wife watch her act the fool with her friends. We're getting knee deep into it. Where this is season two, episode nine. So a lot's going on, and I have a good friend of ours. Semajh, introduce yourself.
Thank you, Tommy. So shout out Dirties. Love, love, love everyone here. This is like one of my favorite podcasts. I listen to so many, but I make sure every week dialed in for Teal for Dirt because it's a real show. Like you guys don't mince words. When you guys are fighting, we see it. When you guys are getting along, we see it. It's real, and I'm looking for real as much as I can get. So I love this show, and I'm so happy to be here.
First off, we're very happy to have you, and you are a fantastic fan. When we had to do our not had to, but when we did our New York shows, you came to both shows. I got friends that didn't come to both shows. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you. Plus, I know you take this shit seriously, as you have every right to do. You're a big Bravo fan. You're a Bravo con. You just like you take this shit serious, and I appreciate what you just said about us because that means a lot. I know that you're someone that's able to see between the lines on a lot of things. And the fact that you think that we hold up to the smelt test, as they say, and you believe that what we're doing, what we got going on is real. I also think that I love that when you listen, you can tell when we're mad at each other because
yeah,
in 180 episodes, once a week, best believe there's been episodes where, like, you're lucky there wasn't a knife on the table. You know what I
right.
mean?
Well, speaking of knives on the table, look at that.
Somebody just stole my fucking thunder, dude. You stole my lead in, bro. You stole my lead in, but that was fantastic. Yes, speaking of knives, this is a great episode to get into.
Yes.
Now, let me ask you this. What do you know? How deep have you dug your toes in to the rewatch? Like, have you watched, is it just this episode? Are you rewatching Shahs? Where are you at?
So while I'm not actively rewatching the show, because Peacock is smart, when you finish one episode, immediately the next one starts. So I have watched the finale and the reunion. I'm actually up to the lost footage, and I let it play because it's such a good show. And then I went back today and rewatched the one we're doing now, season two, episode nine. And then I went back a little bit before eight to kind of fill in some pieces because it's been a handful of years, so everything's not fresh, it's not topical, but I'm enjoying what I'm seeing.
And I'll say this episode tonight, the dinner scene, it's
Right.
fucking reality television, like,
Gold.
a gold mine, dude. You know what I mean? This is, and I don't want to jump too far ahead, but when we get to that, it was definitely like you can't write that stuff. You know what I mean? Like they can't. That's why you have these shows because you couldn't write what went down at that party. Um,
Masterclass, like reality TV masterclass for sure.
Yes. Now we open this episode with Asa and Reza at her compound that we're still not able to talk about how she came upon. It's a
I
nice
mean,
place.
the Persian, the Persian princess, the Persian priestess of pop, the Persian pop culture icon. She's just so full of secrets. She's a vault. Some things we'll just never know. And as a viewer, I've accepted that.
Yeah, I think that again, you're a great person to do this with, Samaj, because yeah, she's that. She's that. There's certain shit she could be on reality television for 50 years, and there's shit that you're just never gonna know about her, dude. You know what I mean? They're not paying her enough. It's not like you're just not gonna know. And I give her credit because other people kind of like, they have to tell that or they can't continue. She was able to she created enough with the other craziness and wacky shit that no one ever really felt the need to dive deep because she was giving you enough with other things. You know what I mean? At least that's the only way I can make of it.
No, 100%. And to kind of, lead in with that, I found it interesting that Reza, comes here with the intent to get Asa to hear Gigi out at the very least. So I find it so interesting that he goes, I bought you this stone. It's citrine, and she goes, oh yeah, citrine, like correcting him immediately, which I found so funny. And then he goes, oh, I'm glad you like it, I got it from Brazil. But now that the positivity's out the way, let's talk about Gigi. Like, I love how he's just like ready to just go right into it.
And listen, this is obviously a produced scene in the sense that they can't continue to have a show where a main cast member is excommunicated from everything and everybody doesn't like her, so it's just easy to keep her out. Obviously, someone feels that Gigi's a part of the show, and you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to have to bring her back into the fold. And this is, Reza's way of following that directive. We got to get her back. Let's figure out how we could get her back. I'm sure for Asa, and it's dog eat dog on reality television.
Right.
Anytime that you could get someone out of the fray, they're happy to do it because it means
Mm,
more screen time for them, and it means more storyline for them, more everything for them. So there's really no need to like bring a Gigi back, especially if she's going to be a fucking nut. You know what I mean? Like
right.
anytime I say anything, we're going to fight. I'd rather just keep her out of the way.
Right, because we're supposed to be living our real lives, and I'm sure in the Persian priestess world, Gigi would never even exist. A Gigi type would never even be in that orbit. So she's probably really at that time struggling. It's only season two; they're very new to this. She's probably trying to, be authentic or as much as she knows how to be. And Reza, season two, he's ready to go. He's like, no, I have a job to do, and I need you to also do this job with me. But the show must go on, and then we go right down to the salon with Lilly and Gigi because Lilly wants to kind of hear her out. And, I find it so interesting that the second she's out of that moment, Gigi is so calm and collected and like almost like
Yeah,
peace with
yeah,
the world.
and this goes to the same dichotomy as Mike too. It's like
Uh,
Mike. There's the reason why you know people obviously with current events, we all know why Mike people have turned on Mike. But like even the people that loved Mike or love Mike have turned on Mike because they hear Mike speak and he knows better. You know what I mean? Like he gives great advice. I don't think there's anybody on Shahs that gives better advice head to head than Mike. So you obviously know better. Then why do you do the things that you do? And it's kind of like this with Gigi. You see her be calm, cool, everything's all right. She seems like she's fun, and then she's got to go nuts. And it's like, what's the reason? And even, and not to go too far ahead, but like even in a therapy
right.
session, it's like
Oh, that session. Oh my
what
God.
like she doesn't she doesn't have reason to have this. It's like I don't want to go back there. Where? You know what I mean? Like unless there's some secret family secrets that none of us know about, I don't think that's the case. Like she had a pretty good fucking life, dude. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like I don't know where this anger and like people picked on me. People pick on people, bro. You know what I mean? And she seems the type that's ready to throw down. So how much I've learned in my life, dude, bullies don't want to fight. You know what I'm
No.
saying? Like they want to talk shit and be able to keep talking shit. Once you punch them in the mouth, they're gonna, whether or not they can still beat you up, they're gonna go
Right.
talk to the person that's not gonna hit them in the mouth. So I don't know where this anger like that comes from, and I think that's why a lot of them also don't put up with it because it's like she doesn't have the reason to be walking around like with the stick up her ass as much as she does, and she looked nice in that scene, like with Lilly. You know what I mean? And Lilly, who in that scene was like, I'm not a judgmental person, which was like the funniest thing that's been said on Jaws in 2 seasons. Like, what? You know? And
Literally.
but she's like, I don't, but I get it. Cause like, that's how these hens are, man. When you're with the other one and the one's not there, they just talk shit. And then when you see them, it's like, oh, she
Right.
wasn't as shitty as you made it sound like. So
100%.
I just think that's so common amongst these friends or frenemies.
Right. These coworkers. And just like you were saying, literally, like in the first 5 minutes of their conversation, Gigi reminds us she's 31 and she's already had nose job, boob job, gum whitening, plastic surgery. So like, yeah, like where are these problems really coming from? Only thing I
Yeah.
can is that, like when you're on camera, maybe she's someone who like is in tune to that and things just get heightened either naturally or by, people around her saying, hey, you know what, maybe we should react this way. Or you know what? are you mad about this? Get mad. So it's a
Again,
little,
man, you're real sharp,
but
Samaj. You can
really
tell that this
explosive.
stuff's in your blood. Because
Yeah,
again, and this comes from me with my experiences of being on the show, like she's now got a persona, right? You know what I mean? Like she is who she is. She gave you a series of I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? And now it's a series of the half of that. So it's hard, and again, in her defense, they're pioneers at this point, right? There isn't a lot of there's definitely no other Persians on
right.
television that they can look at and kind of be like, well, if I act like this person, they're really their own trendsetters. And if it's like, if I came out and I stuck up for myself and I looked like a thug, and people like that. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure she got feedback that was like,
Yeah,
Gigi, you're the best. You don't take shit. So now it's the same thing with Vita. You know what I mean? There were points in like
love
Vita,
that.
any time in her life that she might have think, was that too hard on MJ? She got 10 fans now that are like, nah, you're the best. My mother's would have been so.
Literally,
So it validates everything that she does and says. And it's one of the cruxes of reality television. It's one of the things I don't like. You
you
got people
reward.
like Jax Taylor, who I've
Yeah,
never met, but he seems like he's a really bad guy. You know what I mean? He seems like he's not a good dude. And he's been given a pulpit and a podium now. And, he's having a life that's a lot better than people that I know that are a lot better. And now we're going to actually see Persian Palooza.
yes.
I'm shocked this really didn't take off, I must admit.
The
I
event of the year.
let me ask you this. What's your opinion of Asa?
So, as someone who just loves reality TV, I feel like that when this opportunity was presented to her, she was like, say, sourced because she's someone who was already living a life that lends to this, that complements this. So, when you have someone who's already doing the thing and you kind of fine tune a little bit or explain to them, like, this is what we're here for, then they can like kind of explore both sides of themselves that maybe they were already subconsciously living that way. So like the fact that she was already kind of this person, all she needed was the camera and just to get like a little feedback here and there. And she like I can say like throughout her tenure on the show, as insufferable as she got at times, she really didn't change per se. She was still that same delusional person from day one all the way to the end. She just got more guarded as time went on. And I respect it because she showed up every year. She did the job every year, so to speak. And everyone was so annoyed. I'm like, you know what? I love a cast member who pisses everyone else off, whether for good reason or bad reasons. Like if you have that much of an effect several years into your show, into your job, you're doing a good job by my standards.
I think that she, again, we're talking pioneers, right? Not a lot of other people to really. I think that she deserves a lot of credit because where someone like Reza, for example, he was born to do this. Like he was born to be on reality TV. 30 years ago, he was alive and he would go around feeling unfulfilled because that thing wasn't out there for him. This is for him. It's like he's meant to do it. Where Asa, to me, had a plan. Like she had
Right.
a plan from each season. Each season she went in and I give her credit. You know what I mean? Because like I said, she's fucking got a store, a block off of Venice Beach. She's got
Mm-hmm.
this compound that we saw. She's got a baby. She's living a fucking great life, and a lot of that's responsible to her, from Shahs and the success that Shahs was able to give her. But she might be the only person on that show that could. Lilly also too. Lilly kind of took it and she ran away as fast as she could too. I think the other people are more like uh, cast for reality television, where Asa was trying to work it. You know what I mean? And I just think that it's funny. That's the reason why I asked you what you think of her too, because like she really had some balls to think out of the gate. Like, first thing, I know what I'll do because I'm on TV. If I sing, I'll get famous. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
just like she has no self-awareness whatsoever. Like she's not talented, dude. I'm not talking about her fucking art or her photography because I'm no judge of that type of shit. I'm really not. But I
Just
know a
the
hit's a hit, dude. You know what I
whole
mean? A good song. I don't care if you're fucking Sinatra. I don't care if you're
right.
Julio Iglesias. A hit's a hit, dude. You can snap your fingers to something. And she fucking like I'd rather hear cats killing each other in a dumpster than have to fucking sit there and listen to that shit. And everybody's acting like it's not shit. You know what I mean? Like, oh no, yeah, it's great. Just sing that part louder. You know what I mean? He looks like he's sitting there like,
Well,
get me the fuck. Who is this chick? You know what I'm saying? I couldn't. I'm sorry, I couldn't.
Tommy, I gotta say, when I heard the lyrics, dragging it down the PCH, shaking it crazy across the stage, I was taken aback. I've never heard more profound lyrics. I mean, Drizzy, pack it up. Like Drake, you're done. Count
Fucking
your days.
Bob Dylan, dude. Bob Dylan ain't
Okay,
got shit. They're gonna
it's
make
done.
it. Here comes her biopic soon, real fucking soon. I can picture Miss Cleo's gonna play her in the movie too, dude. I promise.
Like pack it up. I never thought I should drop it down the PCH driving down the highway, and I never thought about shaking it across the stage. The way she makes me think, and she really excites Andy June. Everyone she meets, she really makes them think about their life and her life. For example, in last week's episode, the jeweler Phil, the way he was looking at her, I mean,
Because
like wow.
again, man, I like to, you know, as someone who's been on the show, like I put myself a little bit in the shoes of the people that come into
Yeah,
come into the show, because a lot of times, you know, like this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for a lot of
for,
these people. They're very
yeah,
nervous, you know what I mean? And if it's something that's work related, it's their business too. So,
mm-hmm.
like, you want to. But you can see that guy's face, like, fuck this shit, man. This isn't worth any amount of the business I'm going to get. This lady's
Right,
nuts. And
yeah,
it was, a little more of that today, but I give her credit because she eats it up. Like she doesn't
100%.
like what you think I'm crazy. Ah, that's what I would think you'd be asking people a lot. Like, yo,
This
man,
is
what do you think? Why are you looking at me like that? You know what I
her
mean?
music. Like she is the Persian princess. She's like, yeah, of course this is a hit. Just play it. We got this.
And then
Um,
we go to Reza and Gigi. It's
moving
a
right
quick
along.
meetup, like they're both doing lunch or whatever. I just thought it was funny when he says that I will never turn on one of my friends. Like it's like what?
Right. I actually fast forward through that whole scene. So on to MJ and Vita having lunch. Where
Yes.
Jay says, and please ask her when you see her next. She says in that lunch, this is the most important summer of my life. Can you double back and make sure that if that still holds true? If that some
No, I'm afraid I can't, Semajh, because like she talks in such hyperbole. My wife, like even last week's episode with Gigi, you're making this is you're making matters worse for my whole life. Whatever she said, it was so fucking over the top. This is over the top too. Like you said,
okay.
this meal is the most important meal of my life, and oh, tomorrow is going to be the most important trip to the store I'll ever take. It's just so fucking over the top. And you can see Vita gets like, oh, yeah. Vita's heard this too. But Vita can be
Ready
the
for
same way. You know what I mean? Vita can be, they both have that in common, but they both don't think that of the other. You know what I mean? Like they think that that's a Vita problem, and Vita will think that's an MJ problem, but they both do the same fucking thing. But yes, I highly doubt that was the most important and biggest summer of her life, considering she had a kid in April,
right.
so that summer was probably a little more difficult. Or the months of bed rest in between, I think were a little bit
Uh,
more difficult.
uh, rough times. But yeah, so MJ is telling Vita, she's like, listen, this is the most important summer of my life. And what I'm realizing is when I'm in therapy, the therapist Michelle, has pointed out to her that her dad, loves her and is like this, and says, I have a mom that's the opposite. So she's basically just, relaying this to Vita, who's just waiting for her apple martini, but also tells her, Mom, I want you to come to therapy. And at first, Vita's like not about it, but she's like, you know what? I'll do it. And that's what I like about Vita. Like, you can tell her like the
Well,
most
there's a
simplest
couple
thing.
of things here that I know have to be true. One, Vita's just come back from her vacation, which isn't a vacation, and it's a voyage. She goes away for like fucking 6 weeks in the summer on a cruise. And she says, I just came back from my cruise, whatever. She's thinking this is going to be a fun event,
A
because
nice
it's
lunch. Yeah.
filming, which she
Nice lunch. Yeah.
loves. Nothing would light Vita's hair and soul on fire as when she would film. She fucking loves it. So she
Right.
getting to film. She's going out in a nice restaurant. So she
Lunch.
thinks this is supposed to all be rainbows and fucking unicorns. She hasn't
Mm,
seen her daughter in a few months. This is all going to be fun, and that's not the idea production has. Production
no.
has the idea of last year you were a venomous bitch to your daughter. Let's try to get to the bottom of that
Yeah.
there for lunch. And she
Right.
feels definitely like she's been attacked, not attacked, but, snuck up on. That's
This
why,
is what she
don't get it
ordered.
twisted too. When she leaves, Vita in real life, Vita's gone.
Hmm.
Someone from production went and wrangled her and brought her back. Any other time, she would have been in a fucking taxi. She'd fucking well, she's not coming. She gets up like that, she's not coming back. But I thought it was hilarious that she came back. That she said, "I'm
Yeah.
leaving," and was told the guy, "Where are you taking the food?" Because that's what she cares about. um, but yeah, she was, and I'd give it to Vita,
Right.
for a woman of her age, her
Hmm.
mindset, her upbringing, all that stuff. She is a ham. You know what I mean? She's open to doing a lot of shit on television that I don't know
Hmm.
if a lot of people her age and I can't see Mike's like I'm not saying not film. Film's different
Right.
than going to a therapist and having the therapist tell you what the fuck's wrong with you as a parent. You know what I
Right.
mean? That's different than eating dinner at Shabbat. You know what I'm saying? And she
100%.
went. She went eagerly and it's a little tough because that fucking therapist I've sat down with too, and she's a little
Really.
bit she's a little
So
she's a
quick.
little fucking out there. And the two therapists, that's why I got a problem with therapy too, because I think therapy is such an essential thing. I really
Right.
do. I think that especially, you know, I know people think we're all coddled, whatever. Things were different, years ago where you had
Yeah.
to just kind of work and do shit because you didn't
Right.
have now you got so much things that make life easier,
The
right?
access. Yeah.
So we have so much time within our own heads and our
Mhm.
own minds that I think it's important that you speak to someone to kind of get some of that shit out there that before you know it, you've hung on a coat hanger and it's in your closet. You know what I'm saying? You got to clean out your
Yeah.
closet sometimes, and having a good
Right.
therapist could do that. But I think that could be just like it could be talking to a couch, dude. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just need to get it out. And I've had
Yeah.
therapists that suck, that it's just kind of you're going and getting it out. It's rare that you find someone that actually gives you good feedback and
Mhm.
like, oh shit, that's a tool I could use. And maybe something that really resonates with you. And then you could use that and affect your life in a positive way going forward. Like Gigi's therapist, she should have, if she's been going to you this long, you shouldn't be having these like problems
Mhm.
still. You know what I'm
I
saying?
thought
Like
about
some
that.
sort of, you know what I mean? Like, and I realized she hasn't been seeing him. And
Right.
now she says she's going to go back.
Mm.
And I commend her for that because, yeah, if you're seeing, I did anger management, man. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I can't still blow my top. If someone threatens my wife, my kid, you know what I mean? My people, someone I care about, we're rolling
Right.
around on the ground, dude. I don't give a fuck about anger management. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
like with the situation we're talking with Asa and Gigi, I could let something like that go in my life now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's not
For
not
sure.
that big a deal.
Yeah. No, when I was watching the scene with Vita and Michelle and MJ, she kind of reminded me of two people, two other great mental health professionals, right? So she reminded me of Dr. Phil and Dr. Donna. So since you said you work with both of them, did Michelle kind of remind you of Dr. Donna a little bit?
No, in the sense that I really think Dr. Don is a very good therapist. And that's not like, and it's not really a knock
No.
on Dr. Michelle. I just, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't go to her. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like, I would sit down with Dr. Donna. I would sit down with her and, and we have. Like, I would sit down with
The best
Michelle again,
episode.
but
Yeah,
I wouldn't, like, I'm not taking money out of my pocket and paying. I just like,
for
and
sure.
again, it's not a knock on her. It's just, like I said, it's just Dr. Don is very good. I think Dr. Don is very talented, and I think that you know she she thinks like a man as a woman therapist, which is very key because I feel like a lot of times you go to a woman therapist and as a man, you feel like you're getting picked on. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, this is all the shit you need to be doing
Right.
wrong or whatever. And it's like, no wonder you like to come to this lady. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Don, I think, right, rides a fine line of, hey, listen, that's some crazy shit on your end too. And I think
Right.
that that's important. That's important. But I can tell from seeing this, Beta doesn't think that fucking this lady knows one word what she's talking about. And if there weren't cameras there, she would tell her as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that exercise was interesting. So Michelle had them write down each four things that they wanted from the other, and then they had it. Then she had them share it with each other, and she basically summarized it to like these things that you want from each other. Let it go because they're what your things. She said, "Vita, meet your daughter as an adult, not the child that you had, or better yet, the mother that you couldn't be because you had your separation period." And she's like to MJ, like this is your mom, meet her where she is, and then they conclude with the suggestion to go shopping, where Vita is tasked with the challenge of not criticizing anything and saying something nice.
Yeah, that's just gonna be fucking impossible. But I also think that my wife makes a pretty, salient point. Well, Vita keeps talking about you got to forget the past and just move forward, which in many phases, it's good advice. It's, you know what I mean?
Spoken
In
like a
many,
true
but when you're
reality.
talking about trauma from a childhood, you can't just sweep that shit under the rug. And the problem is, Vita's the bad guy in that situation. So that's why she doesn't want to talk about it. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
why she just wants to move on because as a mother, she didn't like being a mom. She wanted to
Mm-hmm.
go out. She still wanted to go dancing. She still wanted to fucking, forgive. Like she wasn't ready to give that part of her life up, and she chose not to do. So it was Vita and
Right. Yeah.
it was my wife and her father. My Vita
Mm-hmm.
gallivanted and did whatever, and then she got to a point in life was like, I want that back. And Shams was always a sucker for her. So it was like the second she, come on. And she moved out there and she wanted everything to kind of just pick up from there and not remember any of that's trauma for a daughter to not have the
Right.
mother. You know what I mean? And like I said, I don't, just move forward. No, don't look at dwell in the past is great advice, but it's not always as simple as that.
No, for sure. Vita's like, MJ, we're on camera. Please, like, let's literally get to the next scene. Like, I
For
can't do this with
real, for real. And
you.
again, because this and it leads into Mike again. This is a problem that fucking the Persians have, dude. Eleanor Roosevelt had a fantastic quote. What you think
Mhm.
about me is none of my business. Now I know that
Right.
quote's been attributed to probably 10,000 other people, but I've heard it that she was the originator. Maybe I'm wrong. But these Persians care way too fucking much about what other fucking people think about them, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
Mike, you could see it. And again, not to jump, we'll get to it. But like tonight, he's enraged
Literally,
there
Katie.
because why? He's talking shit about him in the community. Who gives
Mhm.
a shit? You know what I mean? Like, it's and again, now today, there's a lot worse things being said about you, Mike. You're still freaking out about it. You know what I'm saying? Like you're still
No,
gonna want to fight everybody. Um,
it's very sad. Much like Katy Perry, who's trying to chase the high of her second album, Teenage Dream. Mike is trying to chase the high of Mike, the TV show character, the person he's built up, who's got the businesses and the shoes, who's doing really great in life. And we all know that's just simply not the case. Because like as the show went on every year, it's like, all right, Mike, what are you doing? What do you have going
Mike
on?
wants to
Take
be
care.
as good as the people and the fans and the girls make him feel in his DMs. That's what he
Right.
wants. That's what he like he wants to
And it's
live
not,
up to that. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And you ain't that. You know what I'm saying?
it's
But
sad.
from there, I don't like Lily, and it's not just because my wife fucking does not like Lily. She does not like Lily. I
She's
try to
not,
give her the benefit. Like I don't think she's necessary in the show. I just don't. But I do feel real bad for her with that scene where it's an obvious where the
oh
guy
my
that
God,
she thinks
Emma.
is in love with her can't get two
Yeah.
shits. She doesn't get two shits about it, dude. I heard that in that phone call. It's like, yeah, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'm coming. I'll be there. He doesn't care about sent his lackey or his friend to come
Ema's
basically
insane.
tell her that she's not Persian wife material. Do me a favor. get the fuck up and get the fuck out of my office, dude. Like, there's no reason for that kissy
I
at the
think
end of it. Think
literally
about it. You're better than this. Like, what? What? She
that was
Lily
the
Lash is like $100 million company. Now I know it wasn't the bathing suit shit, but she
right.
learned there. You know what I mean? Like, that's how business works. You learn as you go, and she could probably buy and sell both those two jerk offs now. And good for her. Good for her for doing what something that makes her feel better than pleasing a man that doesn't even like her. You know what I mean?
He literally walked in that office. He's like, "So I just literally just came here to tell you nothing else. If you want to get married, please close your business. Your
Yeah,
bikinis, shut it down. Because your man, my friend Ali, he literally told me I'm not gonna marry her with this business. It's not becoming."
craziness. And again, think of it as a woman. She just said goodbye to another woman who's married, has a family that she's
Yeah.
employing. She's paying that person. You know what I'm saying? Like, as
Mm-hmm.
I pay people too, dude. It feels fucking good. You know what I mean? Like, not everybody is in a position to do that. You know what I'm
No,
saying? And like, he came in and pissed on it, like, because she's not a lawyer. You know
immediately.
how many lawyers there are, dude? Like just because you're a lawyer, you're gonna be good and you're gonna be successful. It's not
Right.
fucking this. There's a dime a dozen, dude. And good for her, man. Go do something. It's the same thing I'll tell my kid, dude. Because Vita's very, you know, um, like wants a lawyer, wants a doctor. She wants like a
Right.
professional. And if
The
he
part.
likes any of that shit, knock yourself out,
Yeah.
dude. But I want him to do something that he loves because you're gonna get a lot further in life, right?
Yeah.
She's doing something that she fucking likes and she's doing successful at it. If he had
Yeah.
any ounce of love or respect for her, he'd be proud. Instead, he sends his fucking minion in to fucking, because you don't have the nuts to tell her, I'm not going to marry you because of this business. So I'll have my friend do it. What the fuck? It was
Literally.
just weird and it was oddly placed in the episode and there was no
Yeah.
traction to it. That's the other thing with Lily.
No.
There's no, she just kind of shows up and then she's gone, and it's I don't know, man, but I felt like good for her in that scene tonight.
Especially to end, because like he goes, "All right, well, bring it in. I love you." And she goes, "Well, I don't know about that right now, but sure."
Yeah, yeah. And then, like I said, we go to Dr. Don. I mean, Dr. Michelle, and I think we pretty much covered that. Um,
Gigi's
and
therapist, they shuttle, and that was like hard to watch, so I kind of skipped over that.
yeah, it's like, come
Yeah,
on, dude. Like, what cereal box did this guy get his degree from? Was it Lucky
literally,
Charms? Was it Honeycombs? Like, like that's shuttling. You know what I mean? Really? We're gonna watch this. You know what I'm saying? And again, that might be a legitimate, real technique. It might be something they're teaching at Harvard and fucking, but like,
right.
there's a reason why that's in therapy. You know what I'm saying? Because it's supposed to be private. Like you could have some things leak out. I don't think you do that because like she looked ridiculous and it looked like it was ridiculous. It looked like, you know what I mean?
Literally the prequel to Split.
It basically says that she's justified for anything that she does because there's another person that's doing it. You know what I mean? Like I got to talk to Bad Gigi. I don't know why I stabbed you. You know what I mean? Like, so I
Literally
don't
the
know,
movie
man. I
Split.
just thought it was, but I look, I respect what they're doing. This is, what, the third or fourth time that we've had a therapist sit down like on again, not common for the time and the place of this shit. And these fucking goofy Persians don't have a problem going like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. And they're honest and forthcoming. So I respect it.
TV therapists are a special breed.
Yeah.
TV
And then,
therapists.
we finish going to this dinner. First of all, that's Sammy's house. That's his actual house. It's beautiful. It's a real nice house. I think that's probably why they had him in the scene because otherwise he wasn't necessary. They wanted to use his crib.
Right.
And it's supposed to be this powwow for Gigi and Asa to work out their beef, but it turns out to like you could see it from the get go. The Mike hears Omid's coming, and fuck anything else that's supposed to go down tonight. I need to know why this
Literally.
guy's talking shit about me in the Beverly Hills community, and it
Oh,
kind of quickly pivots to that.
I've heard in a long time. Like that prayer he had to start the dinner, giving Omid like the nastiest look. I'm like, this is not real life right now. Like, this is not happening. And it goes back to what you said, like the Persian grapevine. I think that also circles back, bigger picture, kind of zooming out, is like, these families, these people, they come to America and all they want is the American dream. They want success. So yeah, like I think in that context, when they are talking about each other in public, especially now on TV, it's like, possibly in their minds hurting their chances of succeeding and having that American dream. All they want is, to pay back their parents, and the parents want the kids to be successful. So I think specifically for this group in this situation, that's why something that seems so simple is not so simple, and it
Well, yeah,
takes Mike
because you're
zero to
right.
100.
Best believe when this show was going on, especially in its early days, on fucking, if it was coming out on Tuesdays, on fucking Thursdays, they were having, dinner parties within the Persian community, and
Right,
fucking people are talking about them on this show. With that in my bones, I will tell you, like any of the Persians, like, yeah, I don't watch that shit. They're full of shit, dude. They watch it even if they hate it, they hate watch. You know what I'm saying? But they maybe not towards the end because it kind of geared away from a lot of the Persian element. You know what I
right,
mean? But the early years, especially how much it's a concentrated effort to show you their not just these crazy Iranians, but what the community's like. And I
right.
promise you, that was a big talking point for people. And
Mhm.
like I said, Mike, as long as I know Mike, I really don't know Mike. You know what I mean? But the one thing that I can tell you I do know about Mike is he gives an awful lot of, like, he cares what people think about him
Right.
way too much,
Too much. Yeah.
especially to be the type of guy he is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's a shell.
and
It's
I'm not
a
even
shell that
talking about the
back.
shit that's come out recently. Like, that's fucking horrible
Today,
and bad
literally today.
enough. I'm just talking about him fucking DMing girls constantly and wanting to fight. You know what I mean? You can't be, I'm this great guy and live your life the way that he lives it, dude, because you're constantly going to look like a fucking idiot, you know? And, I think that,
He's,
but I also like this is one of those reality. Like, I'm sorry, maybe I'm low class, but I'll tell you right now, with me and my friends,
yeah.
if I'm at a, if we, girls aren't breaking a fight up, dude. You know what I mean? Like, you're not talking like I'll fucking kill you, go fucking, and two women are between you. We're rolling around on the floor in this
We're already,
guy's house. That's what's
the wood's
happening.
already
You know what I'm
broken. Yeah.
saying? And
100%.
we'll fix it up later, I guess. But like,
Right.
it just, it's a lot of, you know, a lot of talk, a lot of bark, no bite. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Amongst these Persians, there's a lot of I'll do this, I'll do that, but they don't really do anything.
No.
Um,
And then on TV, they've got people there saying, nope, stay, talk it out, keep going, finish the
oh,
conversation.
a
We have a
hundred
job.
percent.
So
And
a little bit of,
listen, it's again, they're pioneers in it, so there's definitely an element of I'm not just embarrassing like I could go on TV and act a fool because there's been a lot of fucking white people from fucking, you know what I mean? New York
right,
that have gone on TV. I have a lot of predecessors. You know what I'm saying? I'm not
right,
breaking the mold by any means.
right. No, nothing new. Nothing new. Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a lot of other people like me doing that. Whereas Persians, they're the only this, you know what I mean? That there's a not there's more, there's an added layer to it. And it's like even
The
you're
stakes
right.
are high.
Maybe they
Yeah.
do want to really fight. And it's like I can't because I want to embarrass everybody. But like I'm just like if I, all the anger management in the world, if I'm at a point, then like there's no more talking
Jersey
to be
Shore.
done. You know what
New
I
Jersey.
mean?
Yeah, like same thing. Same conversation with the Italian American. What a disgrace. But yeah, everyone's watching it every week.
Yes,
Same dynamic.
yes, yes, yes. And they haven't even cracked the surface yet on
Hmm.
Gigi and Asa, which is the reason that we're there. And I think we're going to see a lot of that next week. And I got to say, you know, it's like, someone like asking your wife if your girlfriend's pretty, right? You know what I
Right.
mean? It's never going to be a good thing. But like Asa and Gigi are both not my favorites. But on this, if I can be totally impartial, just going with what I'm going to see, I think
Right.
I got to side with Gigi on it. I think like, because it's like enough. Like Asa talks at you from a place like
Yeah.
she's a moral authority
Uh,
on shit. And none
she's
of
like
these fucking people are, dude. You know what I
Lisa Van
mean?
Countess
None of these
Luann.
people could run for office. You know what I'm saying? Like the skeletons would come out, like, and for her to keep positioning herself like she's somehow better than like, I don't like it. And
She believes
you
that.
could tell it's starting to grate on
Genuinely
Gigi too.
believes that.
When she's
Hmm.
doing the what's up, you know what I mean? Because
Whack whack.
whack, whack,
Yeah.
whack. Like, it's
No,
going
yeah.
to be
Asu's a
interesting. I'm
real
looking forward to it.
Asu's a real star. Gigi is a reality star. And I feel like just as someone who just enjoys mess, enjoys life, we gravitate to Gigi, the reality star, and we just see Asa as someone who's just not existing in the same time and space that we are.
Yes, yes. And again, like, you know, I feel like Asa feels like you should be thankful to like if she came in the room, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like you should be
Yeah.
appreciative that she's around you. Where Gigi, I don't think there's not that pretension, but at the same point in time, Gigi's also, you're not going to make her feel less than. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, if you
Yeah.
make her feel less than, there's going to be a fucking problem, dude. And you can see
Right.
it going back to her sister. Like, you know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Like, if you, there's that the constant one up of each other, and it's permeated the rest of her life, that you're not going to make her feel less than, because if not, there's going to be a fucking problem. And I think that
And we're all doing the job, yeah, which makes sense. It's like, okay, you're up here, but you're still here. You're still in this room with me. You have a mic pack on. You're looking into the camera, so yeah, you're not. You're here. If you're better than me, you probably actually wouldn't be here.
yeah, and I
Just as
think of it
delusional as me.
from like a job push, like even she's never had a
Yeah,
job as she proudly says, but like if you
right.
can't shoot and you can't film, you don't make fucking money, dude.
No,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? So like if you keep, like, I apologized, I said I'm sorry, I like
Stop.
whatever,
Yeah,
this is reality TV, bro, it's not splitting the fucking atom. Are we over it yet or what? You know, and you want to keep fucking dragging it out, and every time you're dragging it out, you're dragging it out by stepping on me. You know what I mean? By because everyone knows I was wrong. I've already said I was wrong. It's a known thing that I was wrong. So by you continuing to tell everybody, look, she was so wrong, at some point I'd have enough of fucking hearing that too, dude. You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck are you? And I think that Gigi's at that point. I think Gigi's at
yeah,
that
and
point.
like, and we have to move on because like, as long as I've been watching all these shows, well over a decade, I at this point cannot tolerate a cast that will not move forward. Because at the end of the day, this is a job for you guys on one level or another. And if you're not going to do the job, great, let someone else do it. Because there are so many people now who would kill to literally do what you're doing. So like, have your issues, don't fix it, but then also please like step back, let someone else get in there.
Or and listen, there are some issues you can't walk back from. You know what I mean? Like if you're hiring private investigators to follow my fucking family around to dig up dirt and shit, I'm never gonna be cool. And that's those when those shows go their courses, or like when you
Mm-hmm.
need they need drastic systemic shifts or change. You know
Right.
what I mean? With what's transpired between Gigi and Asa, if you can't get past that type of shit, then
This is
you
not.
know what I mean? Like you said, dude, you're
Yeah.
getting paid. Work it the fuck out, bro. They obviously still want both of us on the show. You know what I mean? Where
Right.
someone like Lilly, I think producers are in the background, like she's really not working. You know what I mean? She doesn't fucking drink. She fucking seems like a wet blanket. She never
Yeah.
really wants to look bad. So I think it's easier for
Right.
them to cut someone like that. But if you're making a show and Gigi's ready to fucking throw down every fucking second, they like that type of shit. And then you got Asa who's fucking worshiping a water fucking tank. They like, you know what I mean? So it's like, listen, you're
Yeah.
both here. You're not going. So you got to figure it the fuck out. You know what I mean? And Asa seems to want to stretch it. You know what I mean? Like this is like she's looking at it as this is good story. You know what I mean? But like you said, as a fan, sometimes it's like they stop self-producing because we're over it. We don't want
Move on.
to guys argue anymore, dude. And it was like that with Reza and my like. For me, it was real personal. You know what I'm saying? I had people tell me, I don't want to see it anymore. I'm over it. It's like, yeah, that's my life. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it wasn't, and I'm not like I got on this show because of my wife, dude. I wasn't looking
Right.
to get on reality TV. Like I like any of the around me in the periphery. It seemed like it was they've had bad experiences. So it was
You
like,
love it's like this fell into your lap,
yeah, you know what I mean. And I did the best I could with it. But
and
at
you
the
did.
same point in time,
You did a
I'm
great
not
job.
going to change who I am
No,
for it.
and
You know what I mean? And like I said, if you cross a certain line, there's no really, for me, there's not going back. Like, we'll
I
forgive.
don't know
Ooh,
how you got
I hope
to
you
where you
have a fucking great life, but you and I don't need to be friends anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've already learned, that like you, good luck, and no hard feelings. Best of luck. But like again, that's like if you're putting it on a seesaw, like this is nothing that we're watching, and stop making it seem into something bigger.
yeah,
What just transpired between Mike and Omid is way more legitimate than fucking Gigi still being mad at Asa because she made fun of Omid's nose.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. And I commend you all the time for being able to get to the place where you currently are with that whole situation because like I mm,
Yeah, no, I know you got a lot to think on it. And listen, I guarantee you one thing, Semajh, this will not be the only time you'll be hosting one of these shows with me. You were a great co-host.
thank you.
This was great breaking it down with you. I really enjoyed it. Thank you I know I missed the other day. My Mets
Oh,
got me so fucking distracted, dude. This
it's
episode's
your
going to come out later than it's supposed to.
here.
I'm just holding it together, bro. I really am just holding it together. These people in LA don't know, dude, that I'm really like I'm about to blow it. So thank you for
Thank you.
sticking with me, doing this on a Friday night. I'm sure you got a lot of better things to be doing on a Friday night. And this was really great. I really enjoyed it with you, man. You got any other parting words before we get out of here?
Yes. So have you ever seen the music video for the song Happy, Pharrell's song Happy?
Yes.
Do you know that hat he has?
Yes.
I thought about him and his hat. I'm like, I wonder where he got the idea from. And then it hit me when Asa walked into Russ Studios and she had that hat on. I'm like, Pharrell must have seen this in the year 2014. He said, you know what? I need a hat like this. So he went to his little design studio and he made his hat. I'm like, he definitely got this from Asa.
Don't ever let don't ever let Asa hear that. Don't ever let Asa hear that. She fucking yes. Yes, I am a trendsetter and I am a pioneer. And yes, yes. Um,
Persian Bluza.
yeah. And with that, I thank you so much for this.
You.
I'm grateful for my wife. I'm grateful for my son. I'm grateful everybody's healthy. I'm grateful for Samaj. I'm grateful for everybody who listens to the pod. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your weekend, buddy.
You too.
My man. Vibes up,
Bye.
buddy.